Previously on the Idaho Dub channel.
As you probably know, there's not much to do in the small town that I grew up in. Like, nothing. And it's a murder case. It is nuts. Playoffs? I've started a few new addictions, but I am going to check a few more out. What is going on? What's up, ladies and gents? It's Idaho Dub with another NCAA Road to Glory video. You're probably wondering, what in the heck was that intro, Dub? If you recall from my last video, I believe it was my last one of my last videos, I mentioned that I had listened to this podcast Serial, and that's S-E-R-I-A-L, which I was obsessed with, and I burned through all 12 episodes very quickly. But that music is from the intro, and that's kind of how the intro's set up. And so Fat Sexy, a longtime subscriber who you guys have probably heard me talk about, as I have talked about him a lot in videos or you've seen his comments, he made that for me. He chopped up a bunch of takes or words from my prior videos. I just fumble out of bounds. There's 60 coach trust down the drain. So he chopped that up, and he made it. So it's actually longer than that. I'm going to put the remainder of the clip at the end of the video, and then maybe I'll put it up on YouTube or SoundCloud, or maybe Fat Sexy can do that. It's pretty hilarious. I sent it to like 10 of my friends. He sent it on the 5th of January, but I didn't see the message till today. And so I sent it to a bunch of my friends, and they loved it, the people who listen to Serial. If you didn't listen to Serial, you're probably not going to get that. So just ignore it unless you want to listen to Serial, which you totally should. But when he sent that over, it definitely brightened my Saturday. But in his message that he sent that over with, he also brought up, he said good luck on my new job, and he had mentioned something about hearing about my prior job, and that seems to be something that over the years people have wanted to know what the heck Idaho Dub does for work, because he clearly doesn't make videos that often. So I didn't want to talk about it for a very long time, but since we're ending the channel, I wanted to not so much talk about the work I did. It wasn't like I was doing anything amazing, but I kind of wanted to talk to all of you. I know there's a lot of, sometimes I get in these videos and I get up on this pedestal and I'm like, I know all, which is definitely not how I think, but I feel like my videos come off like that sometimes. But this is kind of an area that I wanted to kind of lay some things out, kind of what I did throughout my working career. And there's a lot of younger people here, and I feel like when you're in middle school and high school, even college, you're not really sure what you want to do. You hear about, for instance, like when I was in high school and college, I was like, I'm going to be a lawyer. Like, you think that you can just go do all of these things, and you can, whatever you put your mind to, you can do, but it's a lot harder done than said. I'll just kind of walk you through what I did in my career, and then along the way, I just have some tips, and you take it for what it's worth. If you don't want to listen, I don't really care, but I kind of want to share a few pieces of tidbits of wisdom, if you will, because I think it's important, and I want the best for all of my subscribers. Unless you're just a flyby person and you're leaving a nasty comment right now, then I don't want the best for you. I want the worst. So I graduated college in 2009, and I was working at this crappy job at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, cleaning out vehicles. That was my college job. It sucked. So I got a job at a company called Sedgwick in like a few months after graduation, so like August of 2009, and I was a claims examiner for like property claims, like insurance claims. I had no idea what insurance claims were. I was an HR major in college. I applied to the job initially because it said something about handling workers' compensation claims. I didn't know what a claim was. Like, I didn't know when you filed like anything for insurance, it was called a claim. Like, I had never dealt with it in my life. So the reason I took the job is because it was 2009. The economy sucked, and they were going to give me a salary, $30,000. I was like, yes, pay me. Are you kidding me? I'm going to be so rich. Which, by the way, $30,000 may sound like a lot, but it is definitely not, especially in Portland, Oregon. But fresh out of college, heck yeah, I was pumped. So I took the job, and basically it was not miserable, but it was like high volume claims, and it was like people always mad about, obviously their stuff just got ruined or they wouldn't be filing a claim. and we weren't. It was like kind of a negative vibe. But I really liked the company I worked for. So I, throughout the years, you've heard me talk about promotions or moving or whatever. So a couple years in, I started handling workers' compensation claims, and then I became a senior examiner, and that was a much better vibe. Like you were helping people out, and I was working for like major, like large clients who outsourced their compensation claims to Sedgwick. Sedgwick's a huge company, by the way. Which is another, and I never wanted to talk about this because a lot of people, have to file claims in their life, and sometimes, things may not go the way that the person who filed the claim wanted, and they get mad. I just didn't want anybody to be like, "Hey, jerk, my dad had a claim there, you guys did," like it's not my fault. I just didn't want to have to deal with that. So, anyways, I ended up becoming a supervisor like last year. And I oversaw like our retail unit, which has some major clients like Starbucks and Kroger. So I really liked the company, and it's just this new job that I ended up taking was a much bigger job and paid more money, and it kind of let me broaden my horizons. So that's what I've been doing the last 5 years. I know you guys, every time I saw comments like, "Doug, what do you do for work?" I felt like people thought I was in the CIA or something. I'm like, I can't tell you. But no, it's really not that exciting. But, along the way, I learned quite a bit. When I was in college, I would go home in the summer, and my family owns a couple small hotels. And I was basically like a front desk supervisor, which I thought I was the man. But I was pretty hard-headed. Like, it was my way or the highway. I had went to school, so I knew everything, and nobody, like, I was a terrible manager. If I actually, like, would have been responsible for, like, the team that I'm responsible for now, or, over the last year and a half, I would have failed miserably. And over the years, I learned stuff I had some great managers, actually. And so a few things that I just want to leave with you are these. One, when you're going to school, don't just always go for the glamour job or the glamour company. Like, I live in Portland, so everybody's like, I work for Nike, I work for Intel, which is great. They're great companies, but everybody wants to work there. And everybody who works there, well, not everybody, but most people who start out working at these places don't get paid what you could get paid for that position elsewhere. So don't always go for the glamour job. And that's not just a glamour company. Like, don't always go for the glamour, like, job title. Like, if I'm not going to be a doctor, that sucks. Or, okay, that's a bad example. But what I'm saying is, everybody thinks that, like, being a lawyer or a doctor or, something prestigious like that is the only way to go. No, you can make it any other way. Don't be afraid to take chances and go into an industry that you know nothing about, because that's essentially what I did. And don't be like, a lot of times people want to go into these industries that are flashy and make a ton of money, but that might not be the most secure industry. Remember, our economy goes up and down, and in 2000, like, there's certain jobs like claims, insurance type stuff, workers' compensation, that will always have jobs available no matter what the economy looks like. So take all of that into consideration. Lastly, don't listen to everybody that you work with. Even if you're a supervisor and you have people, that directly report to you, your higher ups, your peers, listen to everything everybody says. I'm not saying that you have to listen and do what they say, but you can learn something from every single person that you work with, no matter where they fall in the company organizational chart. Just listen to everybody. Get feedback from everybody, and that'll honestly make you a better employee, a better leader, if that's what you choose to do. But that's my biggest piece of advice, is just listen to everybody. Let everybody voice their opinions and hear everyone out. Whew, Dub rambling on again. All right. So that's my two cents on that. That's where Dub's been working the last 5 years. Fat Sexy, thank you again for the cereal song. It's amazing. 20-16 is your final. Vanderbilt over Ole Miss. ID3 still undefeated, trying to get that natty this year. But anything you guys want to know about me over these last few videos, feel free to leave a comment down below. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
Hello. This is a prepaid phone call from
Fat Sexy.
an inmate at the Idaho State Correctional Institute.
Oh, Dub. I need a win, okay? I need it. I need it. It's just been a crazy, man. It's been a crazy few weeks. But I also started another addiction. I guess I am. Am I? Maybe that's not the best way to put it. That was terrible.